So this morning, I want to read from the book of First Timothy. Sorry, everyone, I just catch myself. But First Timothy 2, 1 through 2 and 2 through 4 says, I urge you, first of all, to pray for all people. Ask God to help them, intercede on their behalf, and give thanks for them. Pray this way for kings and for all who are in authority, so that we can live peaceful and quiet lives marked by godliness and dignity. Who wants everyone to be saved and to understand the truth? And today, I'm just grateful for life. I'm grateful for health. I'm grateful for strength. I'm grateful for my wife and children and God's grace and mercy. It's Monday, y'all, so it's a new day, a new week, a new opportunity to do some good in the world. So this particular part of the scripture is self-explanatory. Um, and it's just a reminder. It's just a reminder, um, that it's important for us, especially the ones of us who know how to pray. You know, there's people out there that don't know how to pray. As crazy as that might sound, because us as Christians, um, it's a normal part of our life. It comes naturally to us. Some are better at it than others. I could tell you because sometimes I listen to y'all pray and I just be like, wow, I wish I could pray like that. And before you stop me and say, oh, you could do it, I think that, of course, I probably could, but I also think that the way that I pray is the way that I've become comfortable in communicating with our Creator, you know? And I think that everybody has a unique way of doing this because everyone has a unique relationship that they've built with God, you know? Everyone has found their way towards the light the way that they were taken to the light, you know? And it's so important for us to remember that, first of all, so that we don't judge others when we see how they pray, because I had heard this phrase many years ago, and y'all have heard me repeat this, and I say, I'm not a person that could pray for 15 minutes. And this is the honest to God truth. I'm not the person that could pray for 15 minutes straight, but I'm a person that prays every 15 minutes, you know? So it's like the relationship that I have with God, like I may not have all my words together where I could pray to him for 15 minutes straight. But every 15 minutes when I remember, or every 15 minutes if I think I forget something, or every 15 minutes whenever I just feel like giving God the glory, I could open up my mouth and I could say, hey God, this me again. And that's the wonderful thing about having a relationship with God. You know, you're not you're not put in a box, he doesn't confine you to when you have to pray or where you have to pray or how you have to pray. You know, your prayers could just be something simple as you just saying, hey, God, listen, thank you. It's your open line of communication and he hears you every time. Like sometimes we may feel the pressures of the world and we looking for this right now answer, you know, but sometimes the answer that God gives us isn't given to us conventionally. Sometimes the answer God gives us in our prayer is wrapped up in somebody else's prayer, you know? Like sometimes he's waiting on somebody else to come in collusion with you in prayer to release whatever blessing it is he has for you. And see, okay, so now I'm circling back to the point of this because he says, I urge you, first of all, to pray for all people. See, he didn't say, listen, I need you to pray for yourself and then pray for people. No, he didn't say to put us first. He says, I urge you, first of all, to pray for all people because guess what? God might just be waiting on your prayer for somebody else that he loves and he knows that you love, for him to unlock the blessing in their life. He have a blessing sitting now waiting on them, but he want to give you the opportunity to ask him for it on behalf of um asking you to ask it on behalf of me. Because in some sort of way, he knows that this blessing that he and the way that he's gonna enact and the way that he's gonna bless you is somehow intertwined in some sort of works that I have going on, or something that I am able to do to help, or some way that I am gonna be connected to this blessing that you've been praying for. So I just say that to say, inside this particular scripture, this reminds us how important it is for us to pray for others because we never know how intertwined that prayer is with our own lives, right? And as much as we wouldn't want to, he says here as well to pray this way for kings and all who are in authority so that we can live peaceful and quiet lives marked by godliness and dignity. And I understand that one because that, again, it circles back to the beginning. Sometimes we look at the leaders of our country with this sort of eye of despise, right? And we sort of forget one very, very, very important thing about their position, right? Is that while we may think that they were appointed by man, in actuality, they were appointed to where they are by God. No matter who they is, no matter how bad we think they are, as Christians, we have to know and understand that God does and He controls all things. He appoints, He anoints, He de-anoints too, you know? And that's why inside this verse, He's reminding us to pray for those people as well. He's saying to us, pray for the people, even if we don't understand what they have going on. Pray for people, even if we don't like what they doing. Pray for people, even if they getting on our nerves. Pray for people, even if we feel as though they doing what they ain't supposed to be doing. This is even more reason to pray for them. So thank you, everyone in this room, and for the listeners, for always praying for others, because that's what we do in here. See my sister Lavette there. When you see she bust them bad boys, the enemy don't stay run. you know. And the same thing with Indira and everyone else. Nikita. Everyone has their own unique way of praying. But one thing I could say inside this room is you can meet a group of people who can pray for you. So thank you again, everyone, for this opportunity to speak. I'm Carrie, and I pass it on to my sister Lavette.